So, you got yourself a new handheld. Maybe you got the Win Mini like me. Maybe you got the Steam Deck or ROG Ally. I'm here to tell you the best accessories you can get, whether that's earbuds or battery banks. We will be going over a few of the accessories I deem important, if not necessary, for your enjoyment of these devices. So, we're going to first start up with storage. So with storage, you're going to want something like this. Every single one of these devices supports a micro SD card. You're not going to want to pay for more than the A2 gold ones, because I don't even think the Steam Deck and other devices can handle a card more powerful than a Sandisk Extreme. But some tips for this is make sure you're buying it, if you're going to buy it on Amazon, from an Amazon reseller. Make sure that it's shipped and sold by Amazon. If you buy from a third party, you're most likely going to get a fake. I've gotten a few fake micro SD cards in my time buying them, and that's nothing you want to deal with because you're spending anywhere between $30 to $100 on it if you buy the max size out now, which is 1.5 terabytes. But I will recommend do not download a game bigger than 40 gigabytes onto an SD card, because if it needs to verify files, if it needs to update, even loading is going to be affected if your game is over 40 gigabytes. But the other route you can go is SSD upgrade. The SSD upgrade, here's how it runs down. The Steam Deck and the Steam Deck OLED, along with the GPT Win Mini 2023 to 2024 and the ROG Ally, so like this, all use 2230 M.2 SSDs. 2230 is just the size, and for price ranges, you're looking at 75 to 120 for a 1 terabyte 2230 and 150 to 230 for a 2 terabyte 2230 if you want to get a good one. The Legion Go is the odd one out, as it uses 2242 M.2, but you can also use a 2230 on it because every size is backwards compatible. So 2240 for the Legion Go, and then the max size, which the ROG Ally X, the GPT Win Mini 2025, the GPT Win 4, and allegedly the Legion Go 2 use a 2280 SSD, which can go up to 8 terabytes. But now that we're done talking about storage, we can move on to the next important metric, battery banks. So here are my 2 battery bank picks. One of these is good in general for laptops, handhelds, PCs. This one I would only really recommend if you're on the go and you need a small battery bank. But I'll get into this more later. This is the Baseus Blade HD, which you also have the Baseus Blade Normal. Only difference is the size. This one's taller and a little less thick. This one's small and thick. I prefer using this one, but it does 100 watts. It's 20,000 milliamp hours, which is around 75 watts. And you can get about 1.5 charges of the Steam Deck, or 1.7 charges of the Steam Deck. It's 100 watt fast charging, and it does pass through, so it's really good for laptops, it's good for handhelds, it's good for phones. I always carried this with me because of its slim profile, but I wanted something a little smaller and I didn't want to carry 2 different things. So the next thing I bought was the Anker Prime 9600 9600 milliamp hours, which is 34 watts, and also 65 watt charging. So this has a neat display, but the main gimmick of it is you can plug it in. This is an all-in-one charger. I've charged my laptop on it. I've charged my handheld, my Win Mini. I've charged my cell phone. It's only 34 watt hours, so you're only getting 80-ish% of the Win Mini's actual capacity. Same thing with the Steam Deck. Steam Deck, you're only charging to about 80%. But it's really good if you're in a tight squeeze and you need a battery bank that can double as a adapter, because sometimes you don't want to carry both an adapter and a battery bank. Sometimes you just want to carry one thing, which that is what this is good for. If you want to carry one thing, like you have a sling bag like I do, it's perfect because it only weighs 300 grams, which is about double what a 100 watt charger would, but you get a battery bank with it. I would love if they made a 15,000 milliamp hour battery version of this, or a 20,000 even. It would be heavier, but I would love that because it would make it so I wouldn't have to carry the charger anymore. If they could do 100 watts with 28,000 milliamp hours, I would pay ridiculous prices for that. But we're going to move on to the next category. So we got portable charging. What about your stationary needs? Any 100-watt charger is what I would recommend. This is because 100 watts is the perfect middle ground for charging a handheld. Most of these aren't going to take 100-watt charging, except for maybe the ROG Ally X, but I'm not too sure. Most of them will cap out at 65, so you can do this plus your phone or another device or a battery bank. It just allows for more versatility if you're on the go, and if you can only carry one, I would recommend this Anker one. But other trusted brands for chargers are companies like Ugreen, Baseus, Anker. That's about it. I do have a charger I'm using right now for the lights. It's 100 watt. I got it back in April of 2022. It's I think, what brand is this? Like Cloud X or something? I'll put it in the link. It served me well over the 3 years. It's just a bit bigger than this, but it is cheaper. But you can't talk chargers without talking cables. Now, cables, USB-C is really tricky because they're all technically USB-C cables. You can get USB-C 1.0. It doesn't matter. This is a Baseus cable I got with buying the power bank. Mainly with these, you want to look for PD, power delivery, and you want to look for at least 65 watts, if not 100, if not more. I have a really slim one right here for data transfer that's 100 watts. They can do 20 gigabytes, but they also have 240 watt versions of these that are angled. So doesn't matter what kind of cable you get. You can get any cable as long as it's reputable and says at least 65 watts for one of these handhelds. Actually, this comes with a cable. I think this is the cable it came with, and that's 65 watts. But I've talked enough about charging situations. Let's go on to actually using the handheld. Next up, we got the Soundcore VR10 Pros. These have gone through hell and back. I've taken these to Japan with me. I've worked several jobs where I've worn these. These have been my daily earbuds since September of 2023. And the main reason I bought them was because of this little dongle up here. This is a 2.4 gigahertz dongle. And when you plug it into like the GPD Win Mini, I have to use a USB-A to C because I can't charge it if I have it like this. But when you plug it in here, it gives you latency-less audio. So these go directly to that, and it makes it so there's no lag when I like shoot a gun in a game. And overall, they sound great. I mean, they last 3 to 4 hours on battery if you're continuously using it. I have never had that problem. I use these on the walk to school, and I've never had these die on me. I charge them like twice a month. These run $50 to $80 depending on when you get them on Amazon, and I would highly recommend it. There's also a couple others like the JLab Quantum, and there's some no-name ones that are just this but rebranded. But overall, solid pair of earbuds. Anker Soundcore P10 earbuds. They're called the VR Pro. They were made for the Oculus Quest 2, but I use them for PC handhelds because that's what they're good for. Other than that, we're going to move on to just random things I have to say, random accessories I think you could use that would be useful. It's kind of hard to get this fully in frame, but this is the Black Ember Compact. It's a sling bag, and you can just take it. I'd recommend any sling bag, but for this one, the Win Mini works because you could just take it and put it in there, and then you're on your way with your Win Mini. It's padded enough, waterproof YKK zippers, but if you don't have a GPD Win Mini, there are other ones that work. I'll put them on here. You should just be hearing me now. This next carrying case is the TomTalk one. It's the generic PC one. It's got like a fake leather vibe going on. And I've seen it hold the Legion Go, the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, so it'll hold any of these, including like the Aya devices, Zotac, and the millions of other companies that are getting on this. But there's only one more bag I'd recommend that I know for a fact fits all of them. It's the Chrome Cadet. It's a 9-liter sling, which is more like a messenger, but something to keep in mind. And the last thing is these analog stick locks. For the handhelds that aren't clamshell like the GPD Win Mini, I would recommend you getting a pair of these because they just lock onto your analog sticks and they keep them from moving in travel. It should help reduce wear like stick drift. But it's just a good thing to have so your analog sticks don't get pushed around. And I actually lied, because the last thing I'd recommend, screen protector. Please put one on. The GPD-Win Mini can use Nintendo Switch OLED screen protectors. That's one of the ones I have on mine. I'll put the link down for the one I use, because there is a slight issue with the GPD-Win Mini where when you close it, if you don't have a screen protector, sometimes the pressure could be too much. It'll leave an indent on the screen. But overall, these were just a few of the accessories I felt were very much needed for the probably benefit from at least one of these suggestions. But that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Lobotomized Logan out.